Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel. We'll spend some time with me on the video today. I always appreciate that. Guys, today I'm going to show you the exact jig combos that I caught my fish on at the Toyota Series tournament this past week at Lake of the Ozarks. I got a couple different setups here, and what I wanted to do in the tournament, I wanted to explain to you why I chose these setups specifically as far as the colors, type of trailers, and the presentations, and based upon the conditions that I was fishing. And it sort of gives you some insight on how to choose, jig colors in your setup. I think it's going to really help you guys fishing. And also, guys, I will include my Tackle Warehouse link to my Blaukat throwback jig. Every fish that I weighed in the tournament this week and caught in practice came on my Blaukat throwback jig by Cumberland Pro Lures. Again, Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to order some there. Really appreciate that. Okay guys, Lake of the Ozarks is one of the best jig lakes in the country. I grew up fishing jigs on that lake. People like the Hibdons made it famous for jig fishing. It's a really good jig lake. And in this tournament, I felt that if I was going to have a chance to do really good in the tournament, I needed to catch them on a jig. So I completely looked for that type of water. And wound up in the tournament, I didn't have as good a tournament as I wanted to, but I had a really good practice. And the big reason, and I don't want this to sound like an excuse, but it's just the reality of the situation, I probably lost 40% of my fishing time in this tournament because I was in my buddy's 35-year-old boat, and it had some mechanical issues. It had some fuel line problems, and I just couldn't, I could only run 45 miles an hour, and I was fishing a long way from the site, the takeout site. So I literally lost about 40% of my fishing time over the course of 2 days with mechanical issues. So based upon what I did in practice versus what I did in the tournament, didn't work out. But nevertheless, I did catch a lot of fish in practice, some good ones too. Caught a nice 4.5 pounder yesterday, and I want to explain to you my setup here so maybe you guys can use the same system too. Now, the two specific setups that I used in this tournament were the green and chartreuse. Then I had this is a watermelon zoom Magnum speed craw. And by the way, guys, somebody made some comments on the Tackle Warehouse site that my throwback jig, the head chipped after 10 casts. That's a big lie. It's a bunch of bullshit. These are baked on powder coated head. Look at that, guys. I fished that for a week. Still looks like it's almost brand new, except it just lost some of the shine on it. You can't even get the paint off of these things, so don't listen to that liar on there. And also the black and chartreuse with a zoom flippin' blue super chunk on it. These two setups right here are my primary weapons. Now, first of all, I don't want you guys to get locked into color. When I show you guys the jigs that I used in this tournament, don't get laser focused on the color here, because color is all about matching the situation that you have specifically to the conditions that you have. So like I said, we've got 6 different colors in the jigs, and based upon water visibility, sunlight conditions, and all that type of stuff, that's how I choose my particular jig colors. But the reason I went with the jigs that had the chartreuse in it in this tournament is the fact that we had cloudy, rainy weather. And guys, anytime that you're fishing a jig and it's cloudy and rainy or overcast conditions, any type of chartreuse on your jig is going to be really good, like this black and chartreuse. It's just my favorite color to use anytime you have low light conditions. Plus we had dirty water. So I had a combination of low light conditions and dirty water. So that's why I went to the chartreuse colors here. Now, my trailer color, again, was based upon the same thing. I used the flipping style here with the blue on it for the dirtiest water that I could find. And if it was a little bit cleaner, I went to the watermelon candy trailer on it. And the difference between the two trailers, guys, is I used the chunk style trailer on the straight pure pitching and flipping, where I was flipping into cover, and sometimes I would actually swim the jig a little bit, and I used the super speed crawl with the flapping legs for a little bit more attractive. So that's how I determine the specific colors. Now, going back to the jig colors here, when you're choosing your jig color, and like I said, my favorites are any type of black chartreuse, the black and blue, brown and orange is one of my favorite like this. To me, it all has to do with time of year, the water clarity, and the sunlight conditions. In general, like I said, if I'm fishing water visibility of over 3 feet, I'm always going with a brown, either some type of a brown or a green. you know, whether it has some orange on it or straight brown, that's going to be really good. Also, brown or green is a good color if it's a little bit brighter out, like a little bit brighter sun. The black and blue colors, guys, which is a lot of people's favorite, that's just a good all-around jig color in a lot of different sunlight conditions, as long as your water visibility is sort of between 1 to 2 feet. And then again, something with chartreuse in it if it's a little bit dirtier there. Another thing that chartreuse works good on a jig, chartreuse color of a secondary color, is on a windy day. Wind reduces the light penetration in the water, so windy conditions really, really good. So my favorite condition for this right here, guys, if you gave me, say, 8 to 10 inches of water visibility, cloudy day with some wind, this is just a great color to use in that. But anyway, guys, that's the 2 primary weapons that I used in the tournament here. Just wanted to share that with you guys. You might be able to utilize them in the water that you fish. And one thing about it, guys, is get good with jigs, man. Jigs are, without a doubt, my opinion, they're the most consistent lure to catch quality bass on. I have caught more bass, probably over 4 pounds in my, out of every 4-pound class fish that I've caught. I probably caught more fish over 4 pounds on the full-size jig, you know, like the throwback jig, than any other lure category out there. Now, I've caught bigger fish on different lures, like, you know, a big 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce spinnerbait has probably caught me more bass over 7 pounds. But as far as catching 3 to 5 pound bass, you cannot beat a jig. So if you haven't got into jig fishing, I'd highly recommend it. Go back and look through my playlist on my YouTube channel. I got a bunch of jig videos. And again, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse throwback jig link in the description if you guys would like to get some of those. So really appreciate it. See y'all later.